Are you trapped in a nightmare of burning, tingling, and numbness in your hands and feet? Are you drowning in confusing test results, medical bills, only to be told there's nothing wrong? Do you leave every doctor's appointment feeling more hopeless than when you arrive? What if I told you that the three of the most common tests for nerve pain are little more than a dead end, practically useless for diagnosing the real source of suffering? Stay with me, because today we're not just exposing the tests that are wasting your time and money, but we're revealing 5 crucial diagnostic steps you need to demand from your doctor to finally get a diagnosis that you deserve. First, let's be clear about what we're fighting. Peripheral neuropathy is damage to the nerves outside of the brain and spinal cord. Think of the nerve like electrical wires for your body. When the wiring gets damaged, the signal becomes chaos. That chaos is pain, tingling, numbness, weakness that is stealing your quality of life. But here's the soul-crushing part for millions: getting a real diagnosis. You know something is wrong, you live with it every single second of the day, but after countless of tests, you're told everything looks normal. It's just a terrifying journey that you feel like you're losing your mind. But the problem isn't you, it isn't your imagination either. It's not always just the disease, the problem is often the diagnostic process itself. Doctors put patients through a cycle of expensive and stressful tests that were never designed to find the specific cause of the nerve damage. And this is where that scam that we're talking about. It's not malicious con, but it's just a systemic failure that costs you time and money and hope. So let's turn the lights on and expose the tests that lead nowhere. Let me be clear, these tests are vital tools for diagnosing other serious conditions. The problem is when they are misinterpreted as the final word of peripheral neuropathy. That's when they become expensive, misleading distractions. The first culprit is the standard MRI or CT scan. It feels like progress when the machine kind of whirs around you. You get the results and the report comes back unremarkable, but the standard MRI or the CT is designed to really see the big picture of a herniated disc, tumor, major pinched nerve in your spine. While most common neuropathies are microscopic problems and with tiny individual nerve fibers failing that the scan cannot see. It's like trying to find one frayed wire inside a massive telephone cable using a satellite photo from space. The normal MRI is great for ruling out large structural problems, but it absolutely has nothing to do with peripheral neuropathy. And if the investigation stops here, that's a massive red flag. The second culprit is basic blood work, being treated as final answer. Checking your B12, your thyroid, your sugar levels are absolutely crucial steps, and the scan is not that. These blood tests don't diagnose neuropathy, they hunt for a cause. High blood sugar points at diabetes, low B12 is another well-known trigger, but often when the labs come back clear, your doctor says your labs look great, we can't find anything wrong, and you're sent home in agony. Normal blood test does not mean that you don't have a neuropathy. It just means that some of the common culprit are in the cause of yours. That answers why, but not what. For a small number of people with a powerful multi-generational family history of neuropathy, targeted genetic testing can be a game changer, but it's a trap causing a broad, unfocused fishing expedition. Ordering a massive, expensive genetic panel without a clear family history is low yield, high cost, and just a shot at the dark. Notorious for coming back with inconclusive results or variants of unknown significance, leaving you with more anxiety and questions and a much lighter wallet. So if those tests were the wrong path, what does the right path look like? It's called the methodical process, where each step builds on the last to create a complete picture of your nerve health before any machine is turned over. The most powerful diagnostic tool is through hands-on neurological exam by a skilled doctor. Not a 5-minute chat, but a full-scale investigation. A good doctor meticulously tests your reflexes, use tuning forks, monofilaments, check the temperature to map out exactly where the sensation abnormality ends and where the abnormality begins. They'll check for vibration, balance, gauge, strength to try and figure out what kind of neuropathy you have, which nerves are involved, and the finding could intelligently guide every other test to follow. Never underestimate the power of this step. If the exam points towards a neuropathy, the next step is a 2-part electrical test called the nerve conduction study, NCS, and electromyography exam, EMG. These are the gold standards for diagnosing large or intermediate fiber peripheral neuropathy. NCS is testing the wires. Okay, we put electrodes on one part of the wire, stimulate the other part. Stimulation feels like a shock. We see how quickly the signal comes across, how much of the signal comes across. Are there any delays, any blocks? The EMG part is a little bit more uncomfortable. We use a fine needle to put into the muscle and listen to the electrical activity. It doesn't shock, it just records. And what we want to see is the communication between the nerve and the muscle and see what kind of input does the muscle receive so we really understand how the nerve is working. Is it currently damaged? Is it disconnected a little bit? Has there been damage in the past? But the fine print here is that it only assesses large and intermediate nerve fibers. Okay, it's completely blind for small nerve fibers. Symptoms of small nerve fibers are burning, tingling, pain. And a lot of times, if those are the only symptoms that you have, it can look like it's completely normal, like there's nothing wrong, which is why we need to do a different test for that. And that is called the epidermal nerve fiber density testing, also known as skin punch biopsy. They'll do a 3 millimeter sample at the lower leg and a little bit higher up, send that into the lab. They look at their microscope and count the small nerve fibers that are crossing the skin, several layers, and they compare that to normal people, your age and gender. If the counts are low, then that's suggestive of small fiber neuropathy. Now, what if the symptoms go beyond pain, go into dizziness when you stand up, strange sweating pattern, bladder or digestive problem? These are hallmark symptoms of autonomic neuropathy, damage to the nerves that run throughout the body that control the autonomic nervous system. These are also small nerve fibers. Your doctor may recommend autonomic function testing, which is a series of testing like tilt table test to check for blood pressure, or QSART to measure the sweating response, that provide objective evidence for the autonomic nerve damage and add another crucial piece to the puzzle. Finally, the most invasive test is saved for last for that reason: a nerve biopsy. This is not a routine test. It's reserved for more rare, complex, refractory types of cases. A surgeon takes a small part of the nerve, typically the sural nerve at the back of the ankle, and then we examine it under a microscope and see what type of abnormalities are present. Typically, it's done when we're concerned for a rare but treatable condition like vasculitis, amyloidosis, inflammatory neuropathies. For the majority of people, this test is aggressive and overkill, but a select few, it can be life-saving and a diagnostic tool. The path to answers is not a single test, but it starts with a meticulous neurological examination that tells you if the nerve conduction study and EMG for large fiber neuropathy is going to be helpful. If those are all normal, but the body is still screaming in pain, you still have to advocate for yourself that we need to do additional testing like a skin punch biopsy, autonomic testing, and in some severe cases, a nerve biopsy. Now, we need to walk into our next appointment armed with this knowledge, be prepared, and ask the doctor, could my symptoms be from a small fiber neuropathy? Since the EMG was normal, but a skin punch biopsy for nerve fiber density would be the next right step. Advocating for yourself isn't being a difficult patient, it's being a partner in your own health. If this video gave you some clarity and confidence to take control of your health, hit that subscribe and bell, turn on your notification. We're committed to bringing you to no-nonsense medical information that puts the power back in your hands. To make it even easier, we created a free guide that goes over neuropathy, the different tests, how to communicate with the doctor better, and advocate for yourself. Just click the link in the description below. Thank you for watching. Now go get the answers that you deserve.